Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining our Ontology and Crypto.com live video AMA today. I'm Tina Baker-Taylor, General Manager for the UK at Crypto.com, and I'm delighted to be your host for today's live stream. The Ontology team has spent the last 3 years focused on the vision of enabling decentralized identity and data. Ontology was built to simplify the process of integrating blockchain technologies and make use of blockchain possible for everyone. Ontology's unique infrastructure supports robust cross-chain collaboration and layer 2 scalability, offering businesses the flexibility to design a blockchain that suits their needs. Their focus in 2021 revolves around optimizing product integrations across different blockchains and bringing more users on board the Ontology experience with secure layers of protection for their decentralized identity and data. I'm excited to learn more about the various core projects Ontology is working on, and it's my pleasure to be welcomed and joined by the founder of Ontology, Jun Li. Hi, Jun.
Hi, Tina. It's a pleasure to be here, talk about blockchain industry and ontology and more. Yeah.
It's great to have you. Thanks so much for joining us today. So before we start, we have a number of questions from the community, yours and ours both. But before we get into those questions, would you mind just giving us an introduction of yourself and Ontology?
Yeah. My name is Jun Li, or my family name is Li. Actually, in China we call it Li Jun. And before into the blockchain industry, I do a lot of research work and product design work, architecture in the financial institution, the largest financial institution in China, and also do a lot of design work and the financial product design. And 5 and 6 years ago, I joined to the blockchain industry and do a lot of technology and product design. And 4 years ago, we just realized in that time Ethereum already been launched, and we think in time I think okay, we have a digital assets ledger based on the public blockchain. But in the future, we'll have more kinds of different information, need those kind of public ledger as infrastructure, like the identity, also kinds of information, data, and more other kind of information. They maybe need a different design, different performance, different governance model. So, and build the new kinds of trust mechanism. So I kick off the Ontology project, more focused on, they also call it public blockchain. And they also support the digital assets, but the design will be more focused or suitable for the decentralized identity and the data and the cooperation, the trust cooperation model, etc. So we are focusing that on.
Yeah, fantastic. So, digital identity and identity in general is a big problem to solve, right? So we have this great technology, but, we still kind of are connected to or dependent on a lot of legacy identity infrastructure, right? That isn't necessarily compatible. So, I hear from founders often that there was a personal experience or something that motivated them to start their companies. What was there a aha moment for you when you thought, I need to build something to solve this problem?
Yeah, in that time, I do a lot of research and investigation for blockchain technology. But in the time, people always talk about cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin or something. I think, yes, this is very good innovation. But I still believe blockchain will finally become kind of mainstream infrastructure for all business, whole society. In that time, we cannot only focus on cryptocurrency. We need to touch different kind of business model scenarios. In that time, we need more kinds of information, like the identity, data, and the contract, and more information will be necessary in that time. So I think we need to prepare new kinds of infrastructure, be prepared to build this for the future. In next phase, if more and more traditional business scenario come in, the IT data and more kind of also need those kind of infrastructure. That's why I built the Ontology. We want to have a bridge to link to more and more traditional business scenario to blockchain as a decentralized service.
Indeed. Okay. So you mentioned that, we have seen a lot of growth in the cryptocurrency space specifically over the last couple of years. And it looks like we're set to have really explosive growth in the future. So what role do you expect or hope that Ontology plays in this as a bridge? Is it a bridge from crypto, or could it be a bridge from, a traditional infrastructure to another traditional infrastructure, for example?
Yeah, this bridge is kind of in future, in my point of view, in the future, we have a different kind of public blockchain focus on private service, public ledger service for different kind of information. Like Ethereum is very good example for the digital assets ledger. And the other kind of ontology want to more focus on the decentralized identity, data, or some reputation or credit information based on the ontology. Of course, digital assets also can support, but you have a more focus on that part. So the bridges means when you transfer a traditional business scenario to a decentralized way, you have to transfer every kind of elements. For example, the identity will become decentralized identity. They're controlled by users themselves. Know the central part, third part or central part, they control that. And the data transaction exchange and the data cooperation also controlled by user peer-to-peer. They also need a public ledger infrastructure support that. And the assets also is kind of scenario. For the crypto assets, that's fine. You can use Ethereum, you can use Binance chain or other kind of chains. But ontology will become the kind of interaction or interoperation, the protocols to link together, support. Actually, we already linked to the different blockchain right now to support that. Especially in the future, we'll have a kind of new assets. They will link to your real identity sometimes. For example, if you have the equity in the traditional company or your house, etc. When those kind of assets be tokenized or digitalized, they still need to link to your real identity. If you want to transfer them. So that time you cannot look for a centralized identity service help you for that. You have to find a decentralized protocol controlled by yourself. So that time, if those kind of cases will be more and more common, so ontology will have a chance to provide a service for those scenarios.
Okay. So how will ontology be different from other privacy projects by building a decentralized infrastructure to store personal data? So how can we know that they're the trusted agencies that retain kind of control of this data are sound and secure?
Okay. Actually, currently in the crypto world, also have the other kind of identity information or the identity projects. But they're kind of two things. One is kind of custodian, is centralized custodian or smart contract custodian. They are not totally controlled by users themselves. Another also have the decentralized identity, but identity just kind of one functionality. They need a lot of infrastructure around it. For example, if you want to build an identity only on Ethereum, you will find, yes, I can implement the functionality, but you will find the Ethereum cost, the high price cost, is difficult to support those kind of identity verification case. You can use that to transfer digital assets, but if you use for the KYC or identity verification, there will be too high price. Right. So you also, that means you not only need identity or data functionality, decentralized protocol, you also need a different kind of infrastructure, public ledger to support that. There will become a whole solution for that. Except for that, you still need other kind of fundamental elements or tools. For example, you also need new kinds of asset, wallet, to not only manage your digital assets, also manage your decentralized identity data, your individual, you need tools. And also you need some market or protocols can easily to integrate it with different decentralized application, DeFi, to use those kind of identity. So then finally, even you kick off for one thing, the digital identity, but you finally you need to build a whole infrastructure from a infrastructure, protocol, and service product. That's ontology build all today, already build all today. Wallet, protocol, service, market, and even public blockchain be there. So that is ontology difference with other kind of identity project. That is whole ecosystem for that.
Okay, so this question is kind of in the same vein, but compared with other chains, the advantages of ontology and how these can be applied sounds like it is the full package. There's a whole suite of services that support decentralized identity to almost kind of make it identity as a service. Is that kind of right?
One is identity as service. I can have the number. Based on identity, you still need a lot. You still have a lot of data behind the identity. Even the identity is for some people or for a device. So the data need to be exchanged, need to be confirmed the ownership, and need to be verified, etc. All those need a lot of protocol support that. Ontology protocol support those kind of information. And beside that, ontology also can become a kind of connector with different other blockchain or even traditional IT system use decentralized identity and the data protocol. That means whenever the data source come from, some data source even from centralized world, some from a decentralized world, they still can do the cooperation, use a decentralized mechanism based on ontology protocol. So in the infrastructure level, you still can integrate it with Ethereum or the other blockchain as well. So ontology will support those kind of connector or those kind of service. And for example, if you want to issue an NFT, sometimes on the Ethereum platform, sometimes on ontology platform. But if the NFT want to link to the real identity, ontology protocol will integrate that. So ontology will be a kind of connector and integrator for the other platform and application.
Brilliant. Okay, well, we are going to talk a little bit about some of the features that the Ontology platform has. So one of the questions we had was, could you explain a little bit more about ONT ID? How does it differ from other security protocols like Digi-ID or 2FA, for example? And can customers access it and use it today?
Yeah. ONT ID is implementation for decentralized identity protocols. They actually is the difference is totally is kind of decentralized identity. That means all the control is by the user themselves. The whole protocol will not touch user personal data, personal information. That's you can control by yourself. That means you find balance between the convenience and the privacy. And besides that, the protocol also can already link to the different digital data source for the verification, for the KYC, etc. Some data source from the centralized world, some sources from on-chain data from decentralized world. So as an individual, you have a powerful tool control all your data on internet, on blockchain by yourself. You can use the data or authenticate your data in different scenarios. For example, in DeFi, we already have this product. In some decentralized finance product, you can authenticate your on-chain data, like your digital assets information or transaction information, to create your credit score to get the financial service. In the traditional world, you also can authenticate your work experience, education background, etc. Those information to the other companies or financial institutions. You can also go to the service. All is controlled by yourself. And all those data transaction will be confirmed on blockchain. People can verify based on blockchain hash information to check it can be trusted or not. It's very easy. All those wallet protocol service already be there. And welcome to use like the ONT wallet or the other service to try that.
Yeah, so the ability to obfuscate information that isn't necessarily required to satisfy whatever the KYC element might be or source of funds. You know, today in the traditional world, we're asked for information which might also give access to other information that isn't necessarily required. but there isn't an ability to obfuscate that information, right? So it feels sometimes like you're giving up more information than you really need to, but there is no other choice. So it sounds like this has the ability to solve for that.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, in many times you can just authenticate the necessary information. For example, some case you want to buy some wine or some you have to over the 21 years old, right? In that time you have to give your whole passport, your name, your address, etc. But in the time you just authenticate, just answer, I'm over the 21 years old or not. You don't know how old I am. You just can confirm, okay, I have verified you already over that. I don't know what's your name. So those cases means owning the information need to be disclosure. There will be show that and control by yourself. So that is very better scenario than currently a lot of privacy issue, etc.
Yeah, that's very compelling. So, okay, our next feature question is, what is the difference between DDXF and saga? It seems like data can be traded in both. Are there any benefits of using one over the other?
Yeah, DDXF is a decentralized data protocol based on Ontology blockchain. That means you can do the confirm the data ownership on blockchain and do the transaction and the service on blockchain each other without with any kind of without the third party service and just a peer-to-peer to do that. So that means you can use the DDXF as a data protocol to share your data, work together with others. The Saga is a common data, decentralized data network and the data market. The network is kind of governance network. A lot of nodes help for transfer the data or confirm the data, verify, validating as a validating node from on-chain to on-chain, on-chain data to on-chain data, off-chain data to off-chain data. And you can finish or you can do any kind of data task in the decentralized network, Saga. So that means you also can be an oracle. You also can be on-chain the data analysis. A lot of job can do that. And people can trust that because they be verified as a decentralized way.
Right.
And based on that, Saga also have a decentralized data market. You list your data or data set API, people can buy that and pay the digital asset for you or even fiat for you, and you got the data service. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Interesting. You mentioned wallets earlier. Our next question is about wallets. So what does the Onto wallet focus on? Building and developing products, increasing users, or partnerships? What's the Onto wallet focus?
Yeah, Onto wallet, we call it is a new generation blockchain wallet. This is because Onto is not only service for the digital assets, but also can manage your decentralized identity and the data by yourself. So today you can check.
It's the same wallet.
Yeah. Today is you can check most digital assets wallet only to crypto wallet. I mean, only manage one kind of information is your digital assets, right? And you can manage your digital assets, or also have some application like the apps you can use assets to participate in different do the trading, do the exchange, etc. But just as I mentioned in before, that is more and more information were coming, decentralized information. When the decentralized identity coming, decentralized data coming, as an individual, they also need tools to manage new kinds of information as well. So that is new generation wallet. That Onto today already supports to manage your digital assets, decentralized identity data in one wallet. So that means it's new kind of entry blockchain plans and to support different users in different scenarios in one stop.
Okay. Are there any other tools that Ontology is implementing that will, transform the way our data is handled in this increasingly interconnected world that we haven't already touched on?
Yeah, one tool is like the saga, just I mentioned, saga protocol or DDXF protocol, they can be a public data protocols. You can use that to link different data source, maybe from you, maybe from the other public data source, or you can use that by yourself, directly use that and integrate it to your own business application or business scenario or business process. That will be very easy for that. And also based on that, you can confirm your data ownership, and also you can prove the trust and for the data information and source based on that. So that means you can use that to build new kinds of assets as well. For example, you can issue the NFT linked to the real identity, can trust that. Or you can issue a STO, I mean security token, and link to the different kind of document information or contract information, legal information. So you can build more complex token digital assets on those kind of platform or protocol. So that is, I believe those kind of assets will be more and more on the blockchain in next phase.
Yeah, well, you have a number of, enterprise type clients as well. We're going to talk about that next. And I think those different use cases are really compelling for different types of businesses. So if you're talking about, a security token being able to issue equity, for example, versus an NFT, right? They're quite different things. So how many partners currently have trusted ONT technology? And what benefits do these partners bring to Ontology and vice versa?
Yeah, we already have lots of decentralized application or DeFi integrated with Ontology or protocols, and also we also have the kind of the traditional world, also have partners, I mean traditional enterprise. For example, the Daimler, Mercedes-Benz, the car company in Europe, and we are work together, use Ontology technology, build a POC product is called Welcome Home. That means the Mercedes-Benz car users, they can use decentralized identity and data wallet to manage all the data generated by their car. Maybe their driving behavior, a car condition, and they also can obfuscate those data to the insurance company. You can go to the customized, specify the insurance service based on your driving behavior.
Right.
And also we work with some job platform called Microworkers. It's an online job platform. In the before, you can find, okay, I do a lot of different job, online job, find this job and job, but the work experience will not be recorded. In next time, now also as a new guy to got a new job. But that means you can manage your onto wallet, manage all your experience on internet. Maybe you do some designer before for 3 years or do other kind of job for 3 years. When you to a new job, new platform, you can use those kind of record on blockchain to prove yourself. I'm a senior guy. I can got more high salary for this part.
Right.
So a lot of those kind of scenarios. This is two very typical scenarios for that, for data, for identity, for credit, for new assets. So I think those scenarios will be coming more because that is better solution for most participators.
Yeah, well, the Microworkers project that you just talked about, I think that's really interesting. So if I, deliver a project at a job 3 years ago, and now I'm in a new job, and then I'm going to another job, I have a history of success, but I can't show a potential new employer work product that belongs to someone else, right?
Yeah,
so a way to demonstrate what I've done without actually showing the work product. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that is not only you're difficult to prove yourself. Even today, you can use online information. Okay, I have a 3 years experience for this part or that part. You can see everything, but how people can verify that, that is important. The HR, they need to have a lot of cost to do the background check, to verify your information. That cost is not necessary. If all those records, all those signature for your private employer, they'll have a signature on blockchain. They can verify all the information about your background automatically based on. So that is a lot of cost will be saved. The HR works very easy. Even before the interview, they already can check, verify all your background information already be qualified. Otherwise, in China today, also a lot of this case, we do a lot of interview and a lot of candidate. After the talk, we need to double check his background. We always will find some small issues. If we can do those kind of verification automatically before the interview, a lot of the recruiting process will be saved. A lot of cost will be saved.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds incredible. Okay. Could you tell us a little bit more about the collaboration with Wing Finance, Ontology, and Chainlink? And why did Ontology choose Chainlink as the Oracle provider?
Yeah. Wing Finance is kind of, we call them innovative, decentralized finance service. The difference with other kind of lending platform, DeFi lending platform is we already involving the credit information to the decentralized finance. In the before, no credit information on decentralized finance because just people just put more money and got a lending service. But on Wing Finance, you can use your on-chain data as your credit information, credit score to got the lending service. And the Chainlink help us to got a lot of assets, the price. They can get the assets the price very quickly, and we can find how many as a creature, what kind of assets can go to how many money to lend, how many money, etc. So I think it's necessary. Oracle is necessary the infrastructure for that. So Wing Finance already cover Ontology platform, Ethereum platform, and next phase is Binance platform. There will be a cross-chain credit-based lending platform. So it's kind of innovation for the decentralized finance firm.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Are there any plans currently underway to extend Ontology functionality to collaborative partners within the interoperability ecosystem Poly network?
Yeah, Poly network is kind of cross-chain protocols. They can help us to transfer the digital assets in different public blockchain very easily. So Ontology and Neo and other kind of partners, we are work together to build the protocols. Currently, already a lot of assets transfer every day from Ethereum to Ontology, from Ontology to Binance, etc. So I believe finally all those kind of ledger or public blockchain will be linked together. In next phase, not only assets, maybe the other information or the other kind of record will be do the interaction each other. So cross-chain protocol is the key element in the future infrastructure.
Okay. Ontology recently launched on Binance Chain. What are the use cases of creating ONT33D on Binance Chain?
Yeah, Binance Chain, we are private our decentralized identity protocol on Binance Chain as well, and also include the Ethereum chain. And all those protocols, decentralized identity protocols, will work together as use common standard protocols, and means no matter the user use blockchain, Binance Chain, or Ethereum chain, Ontology chain, they can use the same user experience. And also they can use decentralized identity, link their data on different blockchain in one stop and in one service. So that is in next phase, we are talk about a lot of projects on Binance Chain, and they want to use identity for the NFT or other kind of things. We are private those kind of interaction service for them. Finally, I believe based on the end user, they can just use decentralized identity protocol to link all information, their information or assets in different blockchain. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, we have a number of questions about community and community development. So the first is mining and staking is very popular today as an incentive. Does Ontology support staking, and what are the requirements?
Yeah, ontology is dual token model. That means we have two tokens. Ontology ONT is kind of governance token. ONG is gas utility token. Today, a lot of transaction ontology every day they will consume the ONG as a gas. All the consumed gas will return to the ONT holder. But one thing is the holder need to participate in the staking. They need staking the ONT token as a validated node. You can go to rewards and the incentive from ONG. So currently, we just check that we are the one of the highest APY, I mean return revenue return for those kind of staking service. You can go to ONG. In next phase, once just mentioned like the Saga network, the new data network, they also can use ONT as a staking token to got more incentive from other protocols like Saga protocols. So I believe the staking model is the key elements for the governance and the decentralized mechanism for that. So I believe that's not only got the benefit from the incentive, but also as you as a member to participate in the decentralized governance process. That is very interesting. Yeah.
So what are the new requirements to become a node?
Yeah, currently ontology node will be quite easy. You just you have two options. You can prepare your service as a computer or a service. You needn't hire capacity, just a normal service. You can become a validating node and stake some ONT token. You can be a validating node. Okay. And if you are individual, you can also delegate your ONT token to other nodes. Maybe the nodes is from Binance or some nodes is from other partners. You can just put your token to the other nodes, dedicate to the other nodes. You also will got the incentive or the reward from the nodes. So even individual also can join the process.
Okay, brilliant. How do holders of the VANCI token benefit in the ecosystem? What power within the governance model do the individuals hold? And why is it so attractive? And what are the basic requirements to participate? Lots of questions in that question.
Okay, you mean what kind of benefit for the token holder, right? Yeah. Yeah. The token holder, one thing is once you hold the ONT token, you can just mention you can participate to the staking. No matter you're dedicated to the other nodes or you can build your own node, you can got reward or incentive from the governance process that will can retain. And ONT also can be a lot of like the cluster in the Ring Finance. You can put the ONTP there. You can lend the BTC or Ethereum token, others, you can also will got reward for that. And another is ONT holder also will become the new data. You will got the ONG every month. Yeah, they will generate ONG from the foundation, and they will give your ONG to the ONT holder. You can use the ONG to use the transaction, and also can got incentive, also can manage other DeFi token like a Win token, etc. And if the ecosystem or transaction more and more in the future ontology, because more cases coming, the everyday incentive will be higher and higher. That means ONT holder will got more rewards every day. That is kind of more important is you as a holder, you're also part of decentralized organization, so you can join the governance. You can become part of decentralized DAO. So this also is kind of
Okay. So looking toward the future, what developments are on your roadmap? So this person has asked, what's coming on Ontology that I can tell my friends about and get them to choose Ontology over all of the others?
Okay. One thing is Ontology, the infrastructure, I mean, public blockchain, where currently is also is do a lot of functionality for the layer 2. The first step, of course, is layer 2 for Ethereum, but future maybe it's layer 2 for the other blockchain. That means ontology in future, one thing they can do different kind of things. One thing is they can be a public blockchain to store some information like identity or digital assets, etc. They also can be layer 2 for the other blockchain. They have private, the high performance transaction, low cost transaction. So ontology will become the combination, both layer 1 and layer 2. This is infrastructure. And at the protocol level, the decentralized identity protocol will cover more platform, except for Binance or Ethereum, Polkadot, or the other platforms. They will link together as a whole common decentralized identity. There will be user experience will be very good, and people can use that. And another important thing is I believe the ONT wallet have a chance to become next generation wallet, the clients for that. That means new kind of information you need to manage, except for the digital assets. ONT will be a one-stop functionality. You can do all kinds of things on the wallet. So Wing Finance will become credit finance, one of the earliest credit-based decentralized finance service. I believe in future you still have a chance to become, credit-based service will over the decentralized financial service. So they also have chance. So that's 4 important direction. And another is data. Saga network will coming soon. This is common decentralized data network. So this is focus on. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, one of the areas that we didn't talk too much about, but we mentioned at the beginning, was the traditional enterprise customer who maybe doesn't have the blockchain technology today within their organization, but there's a lot of benefits, whether it's cost efficiency or data integrity. What's on your roadmap to continue to work on those bridge projects that you talked about?
Yeah, I think the blockchain for the data industry, they will become a very important connector. They are not database. They will not store the data directly. The data is still on their data original source, but they can be a index or connector. They can link to different data, help them to finish all kinds of decentralized transaction without any centralized service to have for that. So they can do the peer-to-peer data transaction. Another thing is for individual, a lot of the data source, they still can use blockchain to help them confirm the data ownership. They can register to the data to the blockchain and confirm, just like the NFT. NFT also kinds of data actually. They can confirm, reject the ownership for those data, maybe it's picture or a video, so etc. It's compared with other data is same logic actually. So the blockchain can do a lot of things, especially decentralized data and the decentralized identity, to help them to confirm the data ownership, do the data transition. That means traditional enterprise, they also need those kind of public infrastructure, help them to do the cooperation with other parts. Maybe it's company, maybe it's individual, maybe they are users, they are partners. They can do the design the flexible business process on public protocols. So that's what blockchains, uses.
Okay. We have a few minutes left. How do you feel about taking some questions from the audience live? You game to do that?
Okay, yeah, sure.
All right. So Arthur asked, will Ontology use O-Score for scoring lenders and borrowers, in the DeFi space? And is O-Score somehow linked to China's social credit system?
Yeah, currently already O-Score currently is use blockchain, on-chain data from Ethereum, from Ontology, from Bitcoin, based on your digital assets. But for next day, O-Score will cover more data source. For example, currently the Ontology ONT wallet already cover your social network information. You can manage your Twitter information, or WeChat is China's social network, and Facebook. And O-score, you can link all those data based on some logic to create your credit information, credit score based on different data sources. Some score is based on your social network information or credit base. Some score is based on your digital assets or blockchain information. Even some score is from your traditional world, maybe education background, work experience. That means use O-score, you can build multiple scores for your different parts, and you use different score in the different scenario. If you want to find a job, you use this score, confirm yourself. If you want to have a decentralized financial service, you use another score for that. If some says, for example, we just discussed with some partner recently, this is dating platform. You can, based on your before experience, have a score. If you're high quality, means all your information is true, you can be trusted. You will got a high score on the dating platform. You will got more chance to communicate with girls or boys. So this is a lot of fantastic scenario for decentralized world. So I believe more and more interesting things were coming from partners, from new innovation.
Well, it's a similar use case, isn't it, to the Microworkers? You don't want to spend a whole bunch of time courting somebody that isn't who they say they are, right?
Yeah. Internet have too many information. The challenge is how I can verify the information. So blockchain help you for that. I think it's have a lot of valuable things we're coming here.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. Patrick asked, what is Ontology's potential in a Web 3.0?
Yeah, the Web 3 is, we do a lot of things we are doing today. You will find, okay, all those things is kind of Web 3 things, the identity and the data and the user experience. So we're already in the Web 3 world. We actually is build the fundamental elements for Web 3 world. And also, of course, today Web 3 all linked to the Polkadot Access Max City. That's one. We have everyone is builder for Web 3. I mean, whole blockchain industry. So we still believe Web 3 finally will have a replacement today's Web 2. I think we already talk a lot of Web 3 scenarios, like the dating platform, Microworkers platform, they control your data. They already become the Web 3. So I think in the future, they will become the new internet we're coming.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, last question. What is the role of Ontology in the blockchain service network? Is Ontology involved in supply chain management?
Yeah, we have the enterprise partners. Currently, the supply chain management still not running on the public blockchain directly. We are building user ontology technology, build the permissions blockchain for enterprise, and they have the aligned different multiple enterprise. They use ontology technology to build those kind of permission blockchain to help them supply chain management and the verification, data verification process. But we hope in the next phase, more and more enterprise, they can trust public blockchain. They can willing to host their data on public blockchain, do those cooperation. They needn't to build their own permission blockchain again. They just use public blockchain as a public infrastructure to run their business. I can understand they still have concern in this time. They think, okay, I'm a use public chain, maybe how I control my data. But if they understand the technology finally, they will trust the public blockchain. Just like we have so many assets running on Bitcoin and running on Ethereum. So I think finally enterprise will use public blockchain as well.
I think you're right. I think we've seen such a change in the direction or in the thought process of some of these larger entities. I came from a large bank. I was working on blockchain POCs, and the mindset was still very walled garden. Then there was a move toward consortia type arrangements. But I think there is this convergence now between having, permissioned blockchains, but running in a permissionless environment, and being able to control kind of who sees what. and obviously being able to build things into the chain that allow you to obfuscate information that not everybody needs to see, which is what you're doing. I think it's very compelling.
Yeah. We still, even in public chain, we still can balance the privacy and the data control. That is, I mean, the crypto or the crypto technology already proved that. So I think finally the enterprise were willing to use this more flexible and more convenient way to do that.
Well, let's hope. It was such a pleasure to speak to you today, Jun. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up today's AMA?
Yeah, I think thanks Tina, and I think crypto.com is very fantastic community be there. I think we are all, just I mentioned, we are building a new decentralized world. I hope more and more technical guys and different business design businessmen also can join to private decentralized service in next phase. I believe that will be a better world.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks, Jun. So I'd like to thank our audience also for joining us today. If your question was asked during the AMA, then you may have won a share of the ONT prize pool. And if so, your prize will be deposited into your wallet app within 14 days. You can follow Jun on Twitter at LeeJun_Ontology and follow Ontology at Ontology Network. To follow crypto.com and stay informed about our upcoming events, you can find us on Twitter at crypto.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel where you're watching us now so you get alerts about our upcoming AMAs. Jun, it was a real pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I wish you loads of luck on your 2021 roadmap. You've got a lot planned.
Yeah, thanks. My pleasure. Thanks, Tina, for your time. Thanks. Yeah.
Fantastic.